Hello everyone, welcome to online class of English 1. Today we are going to start another new chapter and the chapter is The Meeting Pool written by Ruskin Bond. The author Ruskin Bond is not new for us because we have learnt about him when we dealt with Grandma Climbs a Tree. Okay, so now let's begin with the characters of the story. The characters are Rusty. He is the main character of the story. He himself is the narrator too. Narrator means the person who narrates the story, the one who tells the story. Okay, so Rusty is the major character who tells the whole story here. The next character is Somi. He is the friend of Rusty. So he is the planner in the story. He makes the variety of plans. So he is the idea master in the story. The third character is Anil. He is the friend of Rusty and Somi both. The next characters are the parents of Rusty, Somi, and Anil. Now let's begin the plot. Okay. Now this is an interesting story of three childhood friends. You are in grade 7 and till this time you also might have made many friends. You might have made many friends means you might have enjoyed with them. You also might have made plans with your friends. So some of the plans might be fulfilled and some of the plans might remain unfulfilled. So this is a story centered on the plan made by three best friends. So after learning the story, we will come to know what was the plan, who made the plan, and whether the plan was accomplished or not. So you also might be so much curious to know all these things. So let's begin. Okay. So as I had mentioned before, Somi was the strategist, the designer of the story. It was Somi's idea. What was the idea now? No, his idea was to meet at the pool in 10 years' time. He wanted his friends Anil and Rusty to meet after 10 years too at the pool. Okay, so at the time of the conversation, where are they? They are at the pool and wanted to meet at the same pool after how many years? After 10 years too. Swami added, now we are children, but after 10 years we will be grown up men and we must come back to this place after 10 years too. So the story takes the procession because of Somi. Somi had told his friends to meet on 5th April 1964. So the meeting date was 5th April 1964. That means when did they make the plan? They made the plan on 5th April 1954 to meet after 10 years means on 5th April 1964. So they were talking in 1954. So they are talking to meet on 5th April 1964. The meeting date is 5th April 1964. So Swami said after 10 years, the three will be leading different kinds of ways of their life, but wherever they would be, whatever they would be doing, they must forget everything and they must come back to the pool after a decade on by 5th April 1964. So in this way, they started making the promise to each other about their arrival at the pool after a decade. Somi promised to his friend, Rusty also shared promise and Anil also did so. Now, you should remember the new term here, it's plays. Pledge, it is pronounced as plays. Okay, so plays means it's a serious and sincere promise, usually made as a group. So it's a very honest and sincere promise. Now, next term is in a deadly earnest. So it means in a completely serious manner. So here, the plays that the school boys made was the serious one. Okay, when they made the promise, they all were very serious and they had really thought of keeping their promise. So they were uncertain about their future. They had no idea about future, but also what they did, they thought of meeting according to their plan. Now there is another story hidden behind the origin of the pool. Okay, the pool where the three best friends dreamt about meeting in the future was discovered by Rusty a few months earlier. So he said, like, I remember means Rusty remembered that it was going to rain. Rusty was going back to home from school. He saw the heavy cloud carrying the rain in the sky. So instead of going homewards, what did he do? He pushed his way to the forest. So on the way to the forest, he saw brambles. Brambles means They are the wild thorny bushes, okay, that produce the blackberries, the bushes that have the thorns. So while he was going dark inside the forest, he heard the murmur of the water. He was attracted by the soft flowing sound of the water at the bottom of the hill and started following the source of the sound. So he wanted to see the source of the water and he wanted to touch it. So what he did, he started heading towards the sound. Okay. Finally, Rusty came to the source of the water. There he found a stream running over a bed of shingles. Now here shingles means small round stones that cover the beach or the edge of the river. Simply shingles means they are the small shining stones. Okay, so Rusty saw a bed of shingles in the water. The water was trickling down from the hillside. The rocks beside the stream was very smooth. Some of the rocks were gray and some were yellow. So when Rusty saw the pool, he was overwhelmed. He was overjoyed to see such a beautiful pool. So what he did, he ran to the town because he wanted to tell or he wanted to share about this discovery to his friends Anil and Somi. Okay, now, so here Rusty described his friends. Okay, Anil and Somi were his closest friend. Anil lived in a crowded lane of the Dilaram Bazaar. Anil was wild, moody, and impulsive. Okay, so moody means the frequent changes of the mind. So here, Anil was very wild, he was moody, and he was impulsive, but also he had certain charm. Means, however, Rusty liked Anil very much. Okay, now next is Somi. Somi was very gentle boy. Both Somi and Anil were adventurous. They liked to do very risky things. They were very daring also, but Rusty didn't like the adventures. But when Anil and Somi take part in the adventurous things, Rusty used to grumble. Grumble means he used to complain, but he used to be a part of them. Okay, the pool was Rusty's discovery and he was proud of it. So Somi, the planner, the plan master, what he said that they should call the pool as Rusty's pool. So here Somi was the same guy who made the plan in the beginning. Okay, now here after discovering the pool, he was the same guy who planned again to give the name to the pool and he named the pool as Rusty's pool. Okay, now see, the bonding among the three best friends thrived and the bonding between or among the three best friends strengthened because of the pool. Because after the pool was discovered, they started spending much of their time where? At the pool. So in the pool, what they used to do? The first thing they used to do is they used to swim. Okay. Swami, the plan maker, was a beautiful swimmer too. He used to glide like long golden fish after he dived. So Anil's legs and arms were very long. He used to dive with full energy but had less skill to swim. So he could not swim as beautifully as Swami did. Okay, so now let's talk about Rusty. So if Rusty dived, then what would happen? In a second, his stomach landed on the rock. Means Rusty could not swim. Okay, seeing his friends swimming, he also used to take part in the swimming, but he could not. Okay, now next is in the stream there were silverfish. Okay, besides swimming, the three boys they enjoyed fishing also. At first, they enjoyed swimming. Then after the next thing that they liked to do was fishing. So at first when they started fishing, they tried to catch the fish with the line, means using the fishing rod. Okay, but the fish were also very intelligent, that they had learned the art of taking bait without being caught on the hook. So in the fishing rod, to tempt the fish, we keep the bait in the hook. Bait means the food such as worms etc. to tempt the fish, to attract the fish. Okay, so when we keep the insect and worms in the hook, what will happen? The fish will come to eat it and they'll be hooked while eating the worms and we catch the fish in this way. But in this case, what happened? The three boys' idea did not work because the fish used to eat the bait and they used to go. So the boys could not catch the fish, and Anil, who was wild, moody and impulsive, he had to do the things once he think. Okay, so what he did is, and he went to home, he found a bed sheet. That bed sheet was brought from his mother's laundry. His mother had taken off it to wash. Okay, so he saw the bed sheet and he brought it. So after bringing the bed sheet, the three boys, they held the corners of the bed sheet and waited for the fish to come. But again, what happened? The same thing happened. Okay, the fish didn't come. So this second idea also failed. Now Anil, he thought of the another idea, the third idea. So he fetched a stick of gunpowder from fireworks shop. Now Somi and Rusty, they were tired by waiting for the fish. Okay, so but they could not catch the fish, and both of them, the Somi and Rusty, they were having an afternoon nap. Means they were sleeping under the tree. Okay, but suddenly they were awoken by the deafening explosion. The explosion was too loud that it could make anyone deaf. So because of the noise, half of the hill also tumbled into the pool. Okay, finally they got good supply of the fish, but the fish were too small to eat. They could not kill the big one. Anil had killed all those small fish, so others, they denied to eat the fish. So what happened? Anil roasted the fish over the fire and ate them all by himself, including the tail of the fish. Now, we came to know that Anil, Swami, and Rusty enjoyed fishing, swimming at Rusty's pool. Okay, so besides, they used to play wrestling and buffalo rides too. At first, fishing, then after they enjoy swimming, then after the third activity is wrestling, and the fourth activity that took place in the Rusty's pool is buffalo rides. So when the buffalo come to drink water at the pool, they used to wrestle with the buffaloes. Okay, it sounds so funny. Okay, they used to wrestle and they used to ride on the buffaloes too. So what they used to do was they would sit on the buffalo and kick and shout and try to move the buffaloes forward, but they were never able to move the buffaloes forward. Okay, now the buffaloes did not enjoy this activity of the small boys, so they would roll on the sand, taking the boys on their back. So in this way, the boy used to have fun at the Rusty's pool. Okay, it did not matter to the boys how much dirty they got, because once they dive into the water, all the dirt would be washed away by water. So they did not need to take bath to clean their body, not only during the day. These boys, even at night, especially on full moon night, the three boys silently came out of the house. Okay, and they used to bath in the pool. They used to swim in the pool. So the three boys enjoyed each other's company day and night. Now, acknowledging these events, our heart also leaps. We feel glad. We also go to the flashback of our childhood. Okay, but suddenly everything changed. Rusty also didn't remember how they broke up. After about a year, Swami passed his matriculation and entered the military. Okay, 3 years back, Rusty saw Swami and he was totally changed. Then Rusty had fierce military mustache because the gentle boy Swami had become very fierce military. So after Swami left the group, Anil also went to Delhi with his family, and Rusty never saw Anil again. So in April, Rusty happened to come in the same part of the country and he decided to keep his part of the place. So he went to the place where he had discovered the pool, but he didn't find the pool after 10 years. Okay, he found the ravine. Ravine means the deep narrow valley. He found the pool, but there was no water. He didn't find his pool, that means. Okay, so now next, see, Rusty waited in the ravine for 2 or 3 hours, but his friends didn't come. He was very disappointed, and with a dull ache in his heart, he returned. But he had not gone far when he heard the splashing of the water and the shouting of the boys. He found another stream and another pool. 10 years back, he found a pool and it was his own discovery. Okay, and after 10 years again, he found a pool, but it was not his discovery because this time it had been already discovered by half a dozen of boys. Half a dozen means 6 boys. Okay, so the boys who were splashing water didn't see Rusty, but he kept watching at the boys. Rusty didn't find himself. Okay, he hid himself behind the tree and watched the boys playing. Actually, he didn't see them. He was seeing Anil, Shomi, and he himself in the 3 boys, and the comfort-loving buffaloes in another 3 boys. Okay, so seeing them, he regained all his childhood memories, and he stood there for nearly an hour. Then he returned. So this is the story. So this is the story of the 3 friends who made the promise but could not keep it. Only Rusty kept all the promise. Okay, and only Rusty remembered his childhood friends, childhood memories, childhood activities. Somi and Anil, they forgot everything, including Rusty. Okay, Somi was the one who made the plan initially, but he himself could not keep it. Rusty came to know that at the end, people and place change with the passage of time. Okay, people and place they change with the passage of time, but only one thing is unchangeable, that is the nature. So nature remains the same while the people change with the time. So this is the story. Now here are some questions to discuss. You have to write the answer of these questions.